To check the activities of food herded across the country, President Tinubu directs security agencies calm down and as part of measures to reduce hardship in the country. In politics proper, Edo State APC strategizes, inaugurates standing committees ahead of the party's primaries, just as the party stakeholders in the North Central declare support for the chairman. The confirmation of former President of the Senate, Adolphus Wabara, as the BOT chairman of the People's Democratic Party is also part of our lineup. And we'll also have a conversation with a man who wants to be the next tenant of Government House Alagbaka in Ondo State. That is the size of police group update. Today, my name is Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to check the activities of food hoarding across the country as part of measures to reduce hardship in the country. This is coming after the emergency closed-door meeting with state governors to profile solutions.
Arrival of the governors at the council chamber with speculations on expected positive outcome from the meeting. Then the president arrives. The closed-door meeting ended and journalists were briefed on the outcome of the meeting, which is expected to be a continuous move towards addressing the challenges confronting the nation.
The National Security Advisor, the Director General of the State Services, the Inspector General of Police have been directed to coordinate with the state governors to look at the issue of those holding commodities. At this point that the nation requires food to be brought out to the people so that we can control prices and put food on the table of most Nigerians. Other commodity traders are busy holding these commodities so that Nigerians will suffer, or they will make more money as a result. So the governors and Mr. President have taken this decision that security agencies will cooperate or collaborate with the state governors to ensure that this ends.
The government is also considering the possibility of creating state police.
What we are seeing now is just a temporary difficulty that will soon go away.
The minister said a committee has been constituted to follow up on all issues discussed for the prosperity of Nigeria.
In the course of the week, there was a gathering of seasoned politicians of the North Central extraction as the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress under the leadership of Dr. Abdullah Umar Ganduje got a nod for what they described as years of diligent service to the party.
Buhari's house reverberates again as party supporters of the North Central extraction roll out drums to raise the bar of Ganduje-led National Working Committee high. Now the pomp and pageantry are over and the big wigs are settled for the purpose of the visit, and Ganduje and Tinubu's presidency are the twin reasons for the high-level assembly.
With the team of people that are gathered here today, their support at home, I don't think anybody will succeed in any campaign for removal or anything of that nature. In fact, we are passing a vote of confidence in the national chairman this afternoon.
We want our SGF to remain the North Central and the Northwest to keep their national chairman. The elders have spoken, and we are the voices of all.
Leadership of the All Progressives Congress acknowledges the wave of support and insists on loyalty to the party and government as efforts are being made to transform the economy.
Reconciliation is a very important factor in democracy. Also, we decided, in order for our party to have an identity, our party to have a strong philosophy, our party to have an ideology, our party to have a very strong direction.
Ganduje says APC is working on innovations and strategies of stabilizing the party and reclaiming opposition states in all of circular elections.
And still on the APC, the All Progressive Congress has inaugurated 2 standing committees ahead of the party's primary scheduled to hold on the 17th of February 2024.
2 committees of the primary and appeal are expected to midwife the process of producing a standard bearer on the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC in the September 21 governorship race in Edo State. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State and Sisi Oduwe are both chairmen of the new responsibilities and promised to deliver and make history in the forthcoming poll.
The host and members of our committee to work in harmony with the local leadership of the party in Edo State to also bring up a product that will look like our party and that will be easily sellable to the electorate.
All 12 aspirants have been successfully and have also received certificates of clearance. Therefore, the 12 of them will participate in the primary election.
And in particular in our party, to always constitute a body that will undertake an assignment so that at the end of it, we get a good result.
National chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, says the party will continue to embrace innovations that will further deepen internal democracy and fulfill the aspirations of its members.
As elections go, there are 2 key dates this year. One, the Edo State governorship election and the Ondo State governorship election later in the year. Governorship aspirant in the Ondo State race on the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC, Professor Dayo Faduile, is joining us in the studio now. He's one of the early entrants in that race. Prof, thank you for joining us on Political Update.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being here.
Now, the information we have is that INEC has scheduled party primaries in Ondo State to hold between 6th to 27th of April 2024. How prepared are you for that, can we call it in-house election first?
Well, we are doing our own. We are doing our mobilization. We are talking to our people all through the wards that are in the state. We are also getting down to the different units and the local government. I would say what has drawn back this open campaign that much is the unfortunate death of our former governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SANCON, whose burial is going to come up next week. And I think after that, some of us can go full gear into the real politicking all over. But the consultation has been intense. We have met a lot of people, we have discussed with them, and we are very sure that we are ready for the race.
I'll keep my second question to the last, and you understand why. But what makes you think, you know, you have all it takes? The last time we saw you, you were the top chair of the Nigerian Medical Association, battling issues of COVID and all that. That was last time I saw you with much appearances on TV and even radio. This time you are entering a new terrain. It's not about surgical issues these days. Now we are talking about politics, and it could be treacherous, you know.
Well, it's not a new terrain, as it were. I have been participating in active politics, in the partisan politics. I contested in 2011 under ACN for House of Assembly. I also contested for House of Rep in 2015. And for everybody who wants to, or who aspires to lead any main duty like a state, you need to have showcased yourself in other areas that you have done what you need to do, and you have done very well. As I've told you, I have also prepared myself Also, in the political angle, I have, after leaving president of Nigerian Medical Association, the late governor also counted me worthy to be one of those people who will work with him in his cabinet. And I was the special advisor on health. And I have had a great deal of experience on the governance of the state. And I think all the experience I have garnered over the years as a medical politician, on the field as a partisan politician, as a professional, as a medical doctor, a consultant, and as a university lecturer up to becoming a professor, has given me that fair view, fair knowledge, fair experience that I think I am the best suited to lead Ondo State as it is at this particular time.
The people of Ondo State, they are peculiar. They will ask you direct questions, and they would ask you telling questions. So what are you going to be bringing on the table that is different from others to make them perhaps look your way?
Well, as I have said earlier, the thing is that you need to be with them, understand how things are working before you can now provide solution. My experience in the cabinet has shown that we need to have a paradigm shift in how the civil service work. The civil service work in Ondo State as it is at this present moment is still largely analog. You have to carry file from one table to the other. There are a lot of bottleneck. There are a lot of inefficiency. And the civil service system is a fulcrum in which any development in the state has to stay on. And we need to make the civil service more efficient, more active, and what we are hoping to put in is to get in more of the technology. We need to introduce technology. We need to make it more efficient so that any investor that is coming to civil service, that is coming to work with us in Ondo State, can get the work done expeditiously, efficiently, within a short time, and we can move. Again, we need to also see, that Ondo State is an educational, very advanced state, and in the last few years, Ondo State has always been leading in the education in Nigeria. But over the years, we have gone down in a large phase. But what we want to do is to also ensure that the education status of Ondo State is regained, where we have always been in the first 2 or 3 in the results of WAEC and other educational interest. So we are going to also massively go into education, bring a lot of things into getting people properly educated, and we can have the best amongst our people. Again,
let me come in here. I have an interest in the state. Perhaps I'll tell you that after the program. But the issue is this. A lot of people say if you talk of resource-based development, the state shouldn't be lagging behind with numerous, are you talking of cocoa, ceramics, bitumen, oil, glass, all different resources in the state. What will you be doing to perhaps make sure that we're just not staring at this wealth, we use it to develop the state economically?
Well, we have this belief that the government should be the one that should be instituting these companies. But I want to tell you that what is present anywhere today is that we want to have a partnership with some of these investors. And what we are hoping to do is to have an investor-friendly environment for all those people who want to come and exploit some of our mineral resources. One classical example is the one you have talked about, silica. And silica, it is from silica you get silicon. That silicon is used to be the hardware of all the electronics in the world. We use a computer, your Android phone, your television, and other electronics. These are things that we want to see how we can partner and get some of the company to come and exploit the silica we have in the Southern Senatorial District. And mind you, the silica in the Southern Senatorial District is about the best quality in the entire Southwest, in the entire Western African region. And that was why it was used at that time to get sheet glass. Unfortunately, that has gone under. And what we want to do is to look at the present thing that we use, which is technology. We need to improve that. We need to get our youth fully involved in skill acquisition. And many of our youth today are largely technologically inclined. We need to help them in how to produce software, how to get this hardware, and how to make them to become, to get them in such a way that we can be an exporter of this. And the way we are looking at it is to make some of the investors to come and work with us, give them hands-on training, and we can use that silica, the silicon, and we can use that to produce all the hardware. We add all the transistors and everything, and we can start getting some of this.
All right, we kind of course, look at everything in your manifesto. Of course, we'll be looking at the primaries as well. But let's look at the changes politically. You spoke about, of course, the demise of the former governor, His Excellency, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu SAN. And now there is there's a new sheriff in town who probably could be also described as the leader of the party now, simply because of his status. It's perhaps likely to also throw his hat in the ring in your party. Is that not an uphill task for the others who are trying to also make their way into the gladiators box?
Well, anybody who wants to aspire to lead must know that it is not going to be only him who will be aspiring to lead. He will have to showcase himself and show the difference between himself and any other person. The only thing that I believe that could have been a deficiency on my own part is that how well do I understand the management, the management of the state resources. As a state executive council, he has given me that opportunity that I have worked and I understand how the state is being run. And sincerely, that experience is enough for me to say I am at par, if not better. Again, I have told you that I have had opportunity to go to other areas where I have led as a chief executive, so to say. I was the chairman of NMA in Lagos State. I was the president, the national president of Nigerian Medical Association. And in those period, I was able to deliver on all the manifestos we put forward, and our people are happy with what we have done. So, like the biblical saying, that somebody who has done very well, if you have 3 talents, they will add more talents to you, and that is why we are coming. We have taken time to learn on the job. We have learned on the job. As a special advisor on health in Ondo State, I had been able to showcase how we can improve those areas that are under my purview.
We'll come back to the last line very quickly. Let's take other issues around the political scene. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has confirmed former President of the Senate, Adolphus Wabara, and as its chairman, and former Governor of Kaduna State, Ahmed Makarfi, as the secretary. This was the board's 76th meeting in Abuja in the course of the week.
The confirmation of Senator Adolphus Wabara came about 18 months after he was appointed as the interim chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, following the resignation of Walid Jibril in 2022. In its communique after the meeting, PDP BOT expressed deep concerns over the economic hardship and high cost of essential commodities. BOT also expressed concerns over the security situation in the country, as well as the fall of the naira to the dollar.
The BOT reassures the Nigerian public that despite the challenges, the PDP remains united, stronger, and more determined in its commitment to working for the well-being of Nigerians.
We will give vibrant opposition to the current administration so that at the end of the day, we are not going to do it out of sentiments. We will do it with the hindsight of knowledge.
Acting National Chairman of the PDP, Ile Adamagum, promised the party's sustained resolve towards providing a credible opposition in the country.
The task of rebuilding this party does not start and stop with the NWC. We are all stakeholders.
He called on members to forgive where need be in party's interest.
A coalition of civil society advocacy groups on accountability and transparency has urged political parties to put the interest of the country first above every other consideration. The coalition singled out the commencement of the ministerial briefing by the current administration as timely towards informing citizens of ongoing government efforts in making life comfortable for Nigerians.
Nigeria again.
Leveraging Nigeria's diversity and number for national development is the lone agenda of this media briefing. This objective can, however, not be achieved without unity of purpose. Commencement of ministerial briefing being championed by the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, is therefore the way to go through bringing first-hand information about government's interventions in various fields of the economy.
The job of opposition is to oppose, and it's their right. We have noted that things are difficult in the country. We have noted it. The government know, they have used their mouth to say things are difficult, but they say they have plans on how to put through, and it is putting the information and the policies about how they are going to put through that it is important to Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the North Central Development Initiative, while lauding government's various efforts toward making life easier for citizens, is tasking the federal government to establish the North Central Development Commission towards addressing development challenges in the zone.
On our own side, we have already prepared a draft bill for an act to establish the North Central Development Commission, and it will soon be presented to our representatives at the National Assembly for further necessary action.
The Director General of the initiative, Musa Utigba, believes that establishment of the commission would not only help to address security challenges in the zone, but would also contribute towards developing it and the nation at large.
All right, you're watching Political Update on the network service of Nigerian Television Authority. Professor Fadile is still right here, governorship hopeful or aspirant on the platform of the All Progressive Congress and on those states. Prof, before we let you go on the last line, we spoke with people from across the border in Edo State. They are also gearing up for their governorship election, and they seem to have the belief that it should go to the central zone. A number of their aspirants are from that zone. In those states, is there anything like that? I understand perhaps the South is saying that it's their own turn at the moment.
Well, as it is, I think it is important for us to know that we have had this gentlemanly arrangement that everybody now believe that one part of the state in the senatorial zone will produce a governor at a given time. The central has had it for 2 terms, and after that it has gone to the north, where we have Akeredolu, who is concluding his tenure. And again, it means that it's naturally going back to the south. So everyone in Ondo State is of the belief that it's the south that will produce that, and I think it has been established. And the large number of those people, those of us who are contesting now, are actually from the South Senatorial District. So there is any issue about which area the governor is coming from.
Finally, what would be your word at this time? We know that it's still a distance away, but consultations are on already. Is it a case of, the tried and tested, or this time we should give a new face, perhaps?
Well, we cannot be doing the same thing the same time and expect a different result. Today, we have young people who had tried their lot in other areas who have succeeded. We have people who have had the experience on the job. You have people who have moved with the management, and I think I am an embodiment of all of them. I have seen some of these issues that are affecting the staff, that is the civil servants, which is very pertinent to move and grind the state, and move or grind the state. And what we want to do is to ensure that the welfare of all the civil service and the civil service structure, as I have said, will be one of the topmost priority to ensure that the state moves in that level that we want it to be done. And I think it is on this regard that a youthful, an experienced, a tested, a trustworthy, and a prudent and compassionate leader who is also having a lot of empathy should be the governor of Ondo State. And I think I am a person that should be given that chance.
Well, thank you very much for this, your time today. But the last description that you just made, perhaps you are even describing me. Thank you very much for being a part of the program.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully, wish you the very best. Of course, we'll talk to you again as the race intensifies, and we'll see who and who is also in the race, especially in your party. That has been the package for today on Political Update. We'll be back on Tuesday for another installment of that program, But between now and then, please play your politics for the greater good and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's finest and largest, for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And of course, for all the breaking news, especially in the political scene. Bye-bye now.